Welcome into a live edition of the KC Laboratory, presented by Emprise Bank, member FDIC, our amazing partners in Possible here at KC Sports Network. I'm Kent Swanson. I'm here with Maddie Lane, who is trying to figure out how to log into a GroupMe account for our new Dynasty Fantasy Football League as we speak. Maddie, how's the technology going?
Technology is getting a beat down right now. I have cracked in. I have busted into the 2016 GroupMe account that I created during some group project back in college. I have won. Skynet has been defeated. This is our first victory and our march to the win here. I can't use the word war right now. I don't think. Prayers out to everybody going on.
I destroyed our fantasy football league's group chat by being an Android user.
Yeah, Kent did do that. There's 9 iPhones in one chat, and then there's just Kent just over there messing everything up.
I think it means I'm going to win the league is what's going to happen.
I highly doubt that.
I might make my fantasy team name Android user.
Listen, I'm terrified. Okay, I haven't played fantasy. We were just talking about this before. I haven't played fantasy football for a few years, and the only thing that I ever was saying in my head that would get me back into it would be starting up a dynasty league with people that I knew because I think it would be fun. But like, it was so far fetched because I was never going to do the legwork, and I didn't share this with anybody that I would get back into it. So randomly, somebody that I knew would just have to come up and be like, "Hey, I want to do this league with some people. Would you be interested?" Sure enough, that happens. And so now we're in one, and like now I'm locked in. Like this, this is a blood pact. We can't leave this forever. Like you guys are all going to be long dead before I get up to the old age of dying. And like we're in this until the end.
Dude, Cam is going to destroy you when he takes over
Probably.
my team.
I'll be so well, I mean, I'll still be pretty young when you go and Cam takes over, but like I'll be getting slightly senile. And like so like I'll still be drafting probably like Patrick Mahomes at that point. It won't go well.
Maddie, unspoken as well. That is the exact scenario that was going to get me back into fantasy football as well. And I was like, you'll be stunned by this, Matthew. I've been the commissioner for several leagues in the past. I know that's surprising. I know it's surprising, right? I hate it, despise it. And so someone having the courage to step up and be a dynasty commish for our league is it's amazing. And it's Jake Stack, our buddy Jake Stack.
Yeah.
So he's starting a group chat.
I'm happy. He knows how much me and technology don't get along. So like he's aware of what's about to happen to him when we try to figure this all out.
Yeah, he's gonna get a beat down. It's gonna be a good time. I know some of these, like, it's kind of funny because like there's a couple of buddies from college in this. It's Ross Uglum who does the KCSN draft guide with us. And some buddies I met at Jake's bachelor party, and then randomly an old NFL tight end is in it. Not a Chief either. Never been a Chief. That name will stay anonymous. It's gonna be a wild league. Like we can already tell. Like, and now GroupMe is just gonna be on fire. So this segment was brought to you by GroupMe. GroupMe.com.
Yeah, shout out GroupMe. Still working since apparently 2016 at the absolute latest, Sheesh.
Oh man, I'm excited for it though. It's gonna be a good time. You know what else will be a good time, Matthew? Not muting yourself?
Oh, I was just giving you the runway.
Oh, the KCSN golf tournament. Which is on August 18th. It's a little less than 2 months away. You have a chance to sign up and have an incredible time at Creekmore Golf Club. It's going to be a tremendous time. It's the Tacos and Bourbon golf tournament, so you're going to have tacos from Tacos for Life. You're going to have some beverages provided out there as well. It's going to be a great time. Holiday Distillery is going to be out there. And so we're going to have a lot of fun, and it's all going towards the KCSN Foundation. So get you and 3 of your buddies together, put a team up, and come hang out with us on August 18th. We are going to have a great time. Link is in the description of the show if you want to go to givebutter.com/KCSN Golf. If you want to Venmo KC Sports Network your entrance, you can do all of that there. So it's going to be a great time. Like I said, Holiday will be out there. Tacos for Life will be out there. No, by the way, if you haven't heard, If you sign up for the KCSN Substack right now for $30 for your annual subscription, you get a $40 gift card to Tacos for Life. Pretty good deal. So you get access to all of KCSN's premium content from myself, Maddie Lane, Herbie Tiopi, and an incredible group of writers over at KCSN.com. And you'll also get $40 to Tacos for Life. Pretty good deal there. I think link's probably in the description of the show as well. Tucker is nodding his head. He's like, yeah, I'm built different. I've been taking care of that. So, yeah, just a little plug there for us. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We really appreciate y'all coming through and listening and supporting KC Sports Network. And we are going to get into our episode today. We've got a couple things we're going to do. Obviously, we're going to get back and finish out the series that we've been doing, the positional breakdowns. We have one left. We decided to pivot on Wednesday, and we do have one left. But before we do all that, we've been watching one game. We've been watching one game before every episode, rolling through them at random using the wheel of names that Tucker's been maintaining for us. And we got to watch the Week 8 game in Vegas against the Raiders. And boy, was that one a doozy, Maddie.
Yeah, a doozy it was. The game happened, right? They played it on a football field. That's really about it. No, I think my big takeaway from this game, and this kind of bleeds over into I think all AFC West games, was that it's hard to win a division as much as the Chiefs have. It's really difficult, right? Like the Chiefs have won 9 straight AFC West titles, I believe it is. They're going for number 10 this year, or are they going for 9 this year? It's one of those two. They've won a lot of them in a row, right? And the only other team that's done more is the New England Patriots with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And like, it's just incredibly difficult because every single year, the goal of the 3 other teams in your division is simply to beat you. If they beat you, they get to go to the playoffs. If they do better in the division, they get to go to the playoffs. So that is like goal number one.
More often than not, yes. I mean, you could lose your divisional record, and but yes, more often than not, the path runs through taking care of business in your division.
And so it's just, that is like bullet point number one for every team they go up against. It's been a lot of coaching staffs, a lot of different teams coming through, but like, it's just been a long time of the Chiefs beating the division. And like, yeah, it's been close-ish some years, but not really that close, especially since Mahomes took over. And just like my takeaway from this, and it's watching all these divisional games this year, they're getting close, man. The other teams are just getting closer to the Chiefs. And it's not that they're as good. It's not that they're the same level of team. It's just when you have so many coaches and players and just like organizations that have seen essentially this version of the Chiefs this many times year over year, and that is their number one goal year after year. Like that is the thing stopping them from winning the Super Bowl, getting to the playoffs, whatever it is, they just get better at it. And like the Raiders were no exception here. Like they were just like pretty well prepared for what the Chiefs did on both sides of the ball. And I think it's kind of been building to that for the Chargers and the Raiders and the Broncos for a few years. But I think this game, looking at how bad this Raiders team was on paper, but then seeing how tough they played the Chiefs just kind of like led me to like, yeah, it's hard to keep winning in your division this much.
Not a good football team, the Las Vegas Raiders, but they were certainly fired up for this one. And I mean, it was a close-ish game, right? Like the Chiefs did make some uncharacteristic mistakes. They threw that the interception deep into in Raider territory, and that set the Raiders up to get stuffed on 4th down. But like that was the pendulum swing that made the game, like kind of kept the game at arm's length. Could have got a little bit more interesting, but I do think you're right. Like the Raiders are not devoid of talent, and they've got some interesting pieces up front that exposed the Chiefs tackle situation yet again. Jawan Taylor and specifically Wanya Morris did not have particularly strong games in this one. I mean, Wanya specifically had a really rough performance. Granted, he had some difficult matchups at times, but you're right. Like it's tough to do what the Chiefs have done, and they went effectively undefeated in the AFC this year, but it was all close games. Like the Raiders in 2 slugfests, the Broncos blocking a field goal, the Chargers games, those are always tough as well. It's tough to maintain what this team has done, and it does speak to how impressive this team has been, because they got a good beat on them. Like all these divisional teams do have a good beat on the Chiefs. Gardner Minshew had some moments in this game. Like that was a little bit of reason to get excited. Like Gardner was cooking a little bit. Like he had some good moments, especially early opening script, first couple possessions, did some really good things. Nailed some out routes later in the game. Continued to be one of those things. Like just number 2 from the slot, just running an out route was a problem for the Chiefs for a large swath of the season, for a large stretch. They were just getting beat on out routes, be it, Bolton trying to chase, being a safety trying to chase, like just brutal. I thought Gardner did pretty good. So it's like, I could see like why the Chiefs are a little excited to have Gardner Minshew in the building. Like I thought that was fun. Kind of felt like a game that the Chiefs, and Xavier Worthy wound up with 8 targets. They tried to get Xavier Worthy involved pretty good here. Like this was one of those games where I think they really, started to see the plan unfold a little bit more for Worthy, and trying to get him involved in a big way. And I remember going back and watching this game. It was an up and down performance, and I think we kind of called it that, right? Like he had some drop fumble issues, depending on what you want to call one of those plays at the goal line. The string of just so close to making a big play continued, where they threw that slant route to him as an isolated receiver, and there was a 4x1 essentially distribution. He runs a little slant or a hitch, and if he's one tackle away from outrunning the rest of the defense for potentially a touchdown, like you saw some things there with Worthy. I don't know. I thought Mahomes had a pretty good game. For the most part. It seems like he was throwing with his chest a little bit from time to time in that game. I think they threw the ball, down the field a little bit more in the intermediate to deep than we had seen. So like there was some good stuff there.
Yeah, and I think this was the game where the wheels started to fall off of the Mr. Kareem Hunt wagon a little bit, right? Like it was almost like those first couple weeks in Kansas City, it was like a rejuvenated, like, oh, I'm getting another crack. I'm back here. Like we're kind of flying entirely on just hype and vibes. And then it kind of felt at this point in time, his age, I don't want to say conditioning in terms of like he was not in football shape, but just like the wear and tear on his body, how he felt. It just all kind of started to show up in this game. And from this point on, I don't think for the rest of the season, there was some pops up and down and like his yards per carry and stuff, but he just never quite looked the same as he did those first couple weeks or anything like that. So yeah, this is, I think, where you start to see the Chiefs run game really start to stall out and start the trend going. I know they stayed one of the more efficient run games for a while, but it really felt like they were holding on, for dear life kind of after this game, because the Raiders did come out there and really slow them down. I think Hunt had under 3 yards per carry, if I remember correctly, when they were going through the game, and just they weren't really finding any space. Mahomes had an okay game, but same thing, he was not hitting anything intermediate or downfield to open up more space to run the ball. Not that there wasn't space, but just this is where you kind of just start to see the Chiefs offense in general start to bog down. And it really was going to be 1, 2, 3 plays to get a first down, 1, 2, 3 plays to get a first down, like all the way down the field. They were just clearly not going to pick up any chunks.
I thought they did a better job in the intermediate than some of the other games. Like, it felt like there was some intention there. Like, I think you saw Kelsey get one. You saw Watson get one. I think you saw, I don't remember who else, maybe Nuke. Like, they're throwing some outs. They little play action, a little bit of play action in the intermediate, but the vertical stuff, the downfield stuff wasn't there. The intermediate, I thought, actually was fine in this game. But yeah, run game, there were some struggles there, and I think who they were turning around and handing the football to mattered a little bit. They still 23 carries. Mahomes had to run for his life a little bit. He had 6 carries that game. Like he was kind of moving around a little bit. It was a bad performance from the tackles. I think the Chiefs wanted to try to push the ball down the field a little bit more. They wound up settling for the intermediate, try to get some stuff under center out of play action, and the tackles just couldn't hang. That was one of those moments. That was not a bright moment for the Chiefs in this one. So and Wanye, can't wait to see if Josh Simmons can do what we all hope he's capable of doing in 2025. All right, let's figure out what game we've got for Wednesday. We got to tell Craig what his homework is going to be.
Week 18. Week 18.
Yeah,
there's 9 football games left. We have 9 football games left in this little experiment that we've been doing.
That should take us through July, right?
Sure, I don't know. off the top of my head.
Yeah. Right
Kent's
before the
trying to
preseason starts.
Kent's trying to have the production conversation live during the show. Oh, this will get us through 8 more shows, right?
I thought we were gonna get the Fraud Goals game, but it's the week 4
Oh.
at the Chargers. It was close. That one is
Okay.
here. Okay, week 4 at the Chargers is the game. That's the
Sad.
Rashee Rice
Rashee
gets
Rice
his knee
game.
blown out game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
let's
Here, I can do that one now. Sad.
fair. What else is on the board? I'll go ahead and tell you guys what else is on the board. Week 2 against the Fraud Goals, week 5 against the Saints, week 18 against the Broncos, Christmas against the Steelers, week 15 at the Browns. That was when Jameis threw 3 interceptions.
Oh.
And he got benched. AFC divisional
Did
round
the
game
Browns
versus
throw like
the
5
Texans.
interceptions total?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. I think they might have 2 fumbles. There was maybe just 5 turnovers in total.
Okay.
Week 10 versus the Broncos, week 13 versus the Raiders.
It's a lot of divisional games
left. A lot of divisional games still left, yes.
Oh.
Did we? Okay.
I mean, one of those divisional games doesn't count. So, like, but it's going to be the most fun.
Kings
one.
of
Oh no,
Garden
that's the
that
best
game.
one left. You keep saying that like that's not the best game left.
I don't know. I think there's a couple games I'm excited to rewatch. I'm excited to watch the divisional
You're
game.
excited to rewatch the Chiefs?
The Texans one actually wasn't a bad football game in the divisional round. Like, they played pretty decent in that game, if I remember correctly.
There was a stretch where it was a slog offensively again. You'd be surprised to hear that.
Oh, the offense was rough in that divisional round.
Travis Kelce had himself a day, though.
Yeah, didn't he?
That was when
did he beat someone in a foot race?
He was.
I don't
feeling
think so.
himself a little bit. He outran somebody.
That was it nose tackle? Tim Settle. That was the game in which the Chiefs should have realized that Joe Thuney could not play left tackle. But
But we digress. Anyways, we're gonna talk about the last position that we have remaining on this roster, and it's probably one of the bigger question marks on this roster. The safety position gets the positional breakdown right after this.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
I'm BJ Kissel, founder and CEO of KC Sports Network. Emprise Bank has been with us from the beginning. They were our first network partner, and they believed in the vision of what we were building from the start. I can't speak to any other banks or companies and how they operate, but I can tell you from personal experience and based on the growth of the network you're listening to right now, that if you have banking needs, call our friends at Emprise Bank. We've worked with so many great people there over the years, from Vicky and Aggie to Andrea, Lori, Jackie, Deb, and Aaron, and not to mention so many others that not just supported KC Sports Network, but supported our KCSN Foundation as well. But the best thing that I know is that if I have a question or a problem, no matter how dumb the question is, I know who I'm going to call and who I'm going to talk to. And I know that I'm getting an answer from someone that I can trust. And I know that person is there to help us. That's why Emprise Bank has always been and continues to be our partner in Possible. And they can be yours too. You just have to reach out. If you have a banking need, whether it's business or personal, hit me up. I will connect you directly with the same people that have helped us build KCSN. And that's our friends at Emprise Bank.
Folks, there's nothing that beats relaxing on a hot summer day and watching some baseball. And there's no simpler way to get in on the action than by downloading the Pick 6 app from DraftKings. It's crazy simple. Just pick more or less on the stats for 2 or more of your favorite players, and boom, you're in the mix for big cash prizes. And the best part, Pick 6 is available right here in Missouri. Don't miss out on the fun. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6, and right now, new customers can get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Here's what you got to do. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN for new customers to get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Bonus picks expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Tucker, was there 2 Bass Pro hats that you put on in that read?
Yeah, I have 4 Bass Pro hats actually. They're like $5. They're not expensive.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where mine's at. I got a green one. Again, this is me imploring you to go watch Tucker Franklin's ad read. I'll give you you can skip our show and I'll just give you the exact timestamp for his ad. It's like, I don't know, 19 minutes into the show. You can just skip the rest of this and just watch Tucker Franklin's ad read. They're hilarious. I won't spoil too much for you, but that was funny. Good job, buddy. You keep killing it. Okay. It is time to talk about the safety position. Here it is, the last position for the positional breakdowns as it relates to Maddie Lane and Maddie Lane alone. Gas station scale. We've made it, folks. We've got through this Flying J fiasco. It's the last one. Maddie, why don't you explain the entirety of the gas station scale to everyone?
Yeah, the much loved, 100% correct official KCS in gas station tiers are tier 1, Quick Trip. The best there can be, the top of the line. You can't get any better. Tier 2, Flying J, which means it's good. Room for improvement, but still good. Tier 3 on the official KCSN gas station tier list is 7-Eleven. Yeah, you'll stop there. You'll go there if you must, but you really, really want to do better. You don't want to be there. And finally, tier 4 is Shell. You are only going there if your tires are flat, your gas tank is open, so you can get a couple extra miles down the road, and you are in neutral coasting into the parking lot.
Wow. We're never
official
going to get
for KCSN.
Shell's not happy with
Oh,
us.
man. Darn.
All right, let's look at look, Tucker's been getting Mountain Dew perks left and right, so we should be on our P's and Q's here.
They're going to send me a seashell with a caution tape over that says it doesn't work? Like all their gas pumps?
Send me a yellow bag that says doesn't out of service.
Just a trash. It's not even a tape anymore. They can't even afford the tape. It's just a plastic bag with painter's tape around it.
Safety room for the Kansas City Chiefs: Brian Cook, Jaden Hicks, Shamari Connor for now, Mike Edwards, Glendon Miller, Dion Bush, and Major Williams. That is your list of safeties on the roster. Christian Roland Wallace also played from depth during the preseason last year, kind of the same way Shamari did, even though you didn't see, I don't see him play from depth all that much during the regular season. But we're gonna count Shamari for now. Maddie Lane, where for one last time this summer, thank God. Oof. Where do you put the safety room in the Maddie Lane gas station scale?
Oh, this is kind of a tough one. Losing Justin Reed from last year really hurts, right? That really lowers not only the floor, but honestly, probably the ceiling of the room a good bit without knowing if we can fully count Shamari Connor in there, which I do think maybe gives you a little boost to the potential, like the upside if everything works out. I'm counting it for now, but I mean, just without fully knowing what he's going to look like or what his role there. That's kind of tricky. I'm oscillating between going with a 7-Eleven or a Shell, honestly, at this point in time. And it feels bad because I think we all are excited about what Jaden Hicks can be and what he can do, but we haven't seen it a ton yet. I think Brian Cook is coming off of probably his worst season so far. Like, those are the two guys that are positioned to play the most snaps, and we don't know what Shamari Connor's role is going to be. I don't know, man. I think I'm talking myself into going Shell with the understanding that Hicks might be able to bring it up, but this might be a Shell.
I think
it might be a Shell.
It might be, and I don't think, because of your just very descriptive explanation of a Shell, that I can do that to anyone.
What do you mean? Do you want to bring Fazoli's back?
Kind of, yeah. I'll do
Go get your orange chicken at Fazoli's.
Ugh. I would never order orange chicken anywhere, not even if there's a fire. I don't like orange chicken. Don't tell Craig.
knows. He's watching. Oh my god.
He knows.
How do you like orange chicken?
So I'm not a huge soy or ginger guy, and it's always not sat well with me, and so that's just been a problem with me historically. So a lot of the Chinese cuisine, I like a good like it's like some of that kind of stuff. I just can't do. I like a good I don't know. There was the Szechuan beef or whatever that we had when I came over and met you guys at Szechuan Garden or whatever it was when we went out with Ryan Scott Hall, and it was just like
Oh my
basically like
god, that was
those,
so good.
that was good. I can do that. It's just
See,
like with soy or
which is
ginger
crazy because like
stuff.
that was the weirdest spice I've ever had in a food in my life. The absolute crazy, like your mouth just goes numb
Mhm,
with the Szechuan spices, like the Szechuan pepper stuff. And it's like just
mhm,
drinking water tasted different. It
mhm.
tasted water tasted entirely different because your mouth's just numb. It's spicy, but more so your whole entire mouth just goes numb. It's just the weirdest, delicious, just the weirdest, like I don't know, spice that I've ever had. Fantastic food though. Anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. You don't like orange chicken. That's weird, but we can continue. Where do you rank the safety room?
Uh, I'm very close to giving. It's like it is like a Shell 7-Eleven for me, right?
No, you gotta choose.
I'll go 7-Eleven with a little bit of optimism. I'll go 7-Eleven, very
Okay.
fringe 7-Eleven. Not the best 7-Eleven that you've ever been to. Barely a 7-Eleven, but I'm gonna give it a 7-Eleven. Uh, I don't feel great about it. There's just a lot of unknowns, and it's like Brian Cook, post injury, how has he bounced back, and another year removed from injury, and you. I think the thing that's so interesting to me, Maddie, is because like I do think on paper this does seem like the clear cut, obvious biggest question mark on this roster, but I don't feel like they would just completely leave it barren if if they felt like it was a super major big concern, right? Like I kind of wonder why they think that they have more in Jaden Hicks. I think it really just ties to him. Do they think they have more in Jaden Hicks than we all do, or do they know that they have more in Jaden Hicks than we all do, even though some of us like him a lot? And that's why is he the best safety on this roster already, Maddie? Is Jaden Hicks our best safety in Kansas City?
Um, I mean, like from what we've seen right now, it feels bold to say yes, but also I think I've seen enough of the other safeties to say probably yes, right? Like I don't think the bar is incredibly high. And Brian Cook is a solid, player. You can go out there, put him out there for a bunch of reps, and he will be fine. And Mike Edwards, that's kind of been his career, although maybe never like a full-time starter, but as a good rotational number 3 safety, he's given you reps. Shamari Connor can give you reps. All these guys can give you snaps and play well in situations and in spurts, but none of them have really shown the ability over a lot more opportunity to take that next step to actually being a game-changing playmaking safety. Whereas I think in the little flashes that we've seen of Hicks, that is there, right? We don't know what the consistency is going to look like because his role's been protected. But like I think I might have to lean that way just because we haven't seen anything from him to say he's not. Whereas I think we've seen enough from those other guys to say they maybe aren't that guy, if that makes sense.
Did you feel like Brian Cook was on a potential trajectory before pre-injury to be a guy that could, be a quality starter? Did you? I mean, I know you were kind of low on him in general, but like, do you feel like there was some stuff that you saw at him before that?
I don't know. Um, I think Brian Cook, even as a rookie or even in college, he gave me a lot more of like that is your stable, consistent number 2 safety that goes along with your guy that's not necessarily more volatile, but a guy that's a little bit splashier. Your guy that kind of makes everything else work. And he is essentially not in a bad way, not a snap eater, but a guy that goes out there, plays a bunch of snaps because he can do a little bit of everything okay, but he's not the one kind of altering the game flow in any state. And that's kind of where I saw his ceiling, even as a rookie, when I thought he played some of his best ball. And so coming off of his worst year, it feels like that took a slight step back this past season, where he seemed to be the guy that was being targeted a few times. Thinking back to that Saints game in particular, I think the Bills even a little bit, like teams were drawing up. The Chiefs are running all this quarters coverage. Teams are doing a really good job of getting a slot wide receiver one-on-one with him vertically. And there was some ugly reps there. And if you're going to play that much quarters, it's going to happen. The number 3 wide receiver to one side is going to get matched up with the safety. And that happened to Cook on more than one occasion. And it just didn't feel like he had the movement ability to keep up. And so if that's going to continue to be an issue on top of maybe not necessarily having the most playmaking chops, that I think that does kind of limit the ceiling that you get there.
I think the best safety is Jaden Hicks. And I know it's a very small sample size, and maybe that is, a little bit scary when you're looking at it as, how we're ranking this position. But I do think Jaden Hicks is the best safety on this team. And I'm buying a lot of what we saw late last year and just during the season. You saw the trust starting to develop and build with him. You saw him getting, more involved. You saw him getting more opportunities as the season was going on. And I think there were some, crunch time moments that they were leading on Jaden Hicks to be on the field. I think we talked about that with Craig when we were talking about the AFC Championship game. If that's right, I think that was one of the things that we were bringing out is just, you see his utilization, you see the trust that they were starting to build with him. And you see some of the things that he does on the football field that remind you of Justin Reed. There are moments watching him fly from depth into the flats to make great plays and trigger downhill and be an impact player at the point of contact. Like you saw some of those high level moments that, you appreciate in the run game. You saw a skill set that did have some redundancy to Justin Reed and some similarities to Justin Reed. So, I think the Chiefs are rolling the dice a little bit with the safety position for sure. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's because they believe in what they have in Jaden Hicks as a player that not only might be their best safety already, but has a chance to take a step and take a big step. And like, this is the biggest opportunity for a player to take a step, I think, in the entirety of the team. This is the guy that has the most runway and has been given the most runway of any player that wasn't a major contributor last year. It's Hicks. Hicks is the guy that has had a chance to, he's the guy that has the chance to, take the biggest step because the most opportunity sits in front of him. Snap count, role, all of that. I think he's the guy that kind of just, he's been gift wrapped a chance to kind of make a name for himself as a second year safety.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't argue against it because I think going into the year, like if you told me which guy is going to come out with the best season, I would go with Hicks. It's just, I want to see it before I say that he's definitely better. I do think that Cook has provided himself a nice little floor. Mike Edwards has a nice little floor there. So like it's Hicks' job to go above and beyond what those two guys are already providing.
So that's my guy that I think that could take a step. Do you think there's anyone else in the safety room that can take a step?
Yeah. Shamari Connor, I think he should move back to safety and out of the slot, and he should play safety full time. And if he does that, I think just by proxy of being in a position where he is moving linearly, so forward or backwards, rather than so much laterally side to side, I think that he'll just be in a better, like that's better for how he moves. That's better for who he is as an athlete. And I think he looks better in those scenarios. If you go back and watch when he was filling in for Brian Cook, he was kind of playing that third safety role. But like when you go back and watch the 2023 tape where he was coming in to essentially play safety, I think he looked the most comfortable and the most impactful when he was playing deep. Now, he's not a center fielder. I wouldn't say neither is Brian Cook, but like you put him in a deep half or playing, a deep fourth, and you let him come downhill. You let him isolate himself on stuff in front of him and read the quarterback. I think the quick twitch, the physical nature coming downhill, like that's where he shines. So let's get Connor out of the slot where his biggest weaknesses seem to be put on display a lot, and let him play more downhill. Let him kind of factor in a little bit more into these Justin Reed type roles where, yeah, he's got to read and react a little bit better, but it's all coming downhill, and just see what he does. Like, I think Connor moving to safety full time and maybe getting some more run there could be an area that allows him to take a big step. And if we're talking about guys that I think have the potential to outshoot where Brian Cook currently are or where Mike Edwards has been, Connor isn't as high as Hicks on my like going down the list of the most potential, but he's probably number 2.
Okay. I think there's a case to be made for that, right? Because like the slot stuff I think does kind of sour people's opinion of Chamari Connor a little bit, because there's been some moments. Do you think how much time do you think he spends like playing as a nickel? Like do you think he's going to get some run there?
I don't know. I don't know what the Chiefs are doing. This is one of my biggest questions I have as we get into training camp is what does the rotation look like for the cornerback spot? Does Christian Fulton showcase enough to play full-time boundary corner as the third guy and allow Trent McDuffie to move inside? And if that's the case, like would Chamari Connor come in and play some reps in the slot opposite of McDuffie, like when they have 2 slot defenders? Sure. But I don't think he would be their nickel defensive back. He would not, in that situation, you're not obviously going to use him a ton in that role. So I just want to see what they do. I think the Chiefs would be best off like if Connor wins the third safety or even a starting safety role next to Hicks and does that versus he gets stuck as the starting nickel or slot corner, however you want to phrase that.
Shout out Brett Coleman in the chat tonight. What's up, buddy?
He's just dropping stats left and right. Listen,
I love it. I'm seeing it.
He's just dropping nuggets. Listen, the Bills, the Fraud Goals, and the Ravens all had a higher percentage of pass interference and defensive holding drawn on offense than KC did. Yeah, get your flag narrative out of here. Also hard to get those when you throw the ball 5 yards at a time.
I was going to say, it's because they're throwing behind the line of scrimmage all the time.
Nick Gatz is apparently the greatest tight end of all time. That's crazy. He's like 50, but his kid maybe is pretty good.
I saw Tucker said he's like 50.
That was me. I'm just logged into that.
No, stop
Give
it.
me my credit. Give me my credit.
The Chiefs were also 9th overall in the league, you flag merchants.
Listen, we're middle of the pack, baby.
Yeah. They were first in the AFC in wins. Yeah, it doesn't hit as hard. It doesn't hit as hard when they didn't win the Super Bowl. It was more fun when they were just doing that.
Oh man, aren't you so excited to watch the Kingdom docu-series about going for a 3-peat now?
No. That's gonna not have mixed emotions about that. Okay. Let's look at some players, still available out there in free agency. Do you want to see the Chiefs try to add another body at the safety position, and if so, who?
No. Didn't Justin Simmons just sign with somebody recently? I believe, or is he just?
I don't know if he's officially signed with anybody yet.
Okay. If he's still available, sure, because I think that he would start, and he would be the perfect pairing to go with the Jaden Hicks as he tries to learn to get everything on track, or as Chamari Connor tries to learn things. However, if he is not signed, because I have not been following NFL news lately, then if he's signed, then no, I don't need anybody else. I just would take him because I think he's a veteran that would come in and be a starting level safety for this team right away. A good starter, quality starter, and would also provide a veteran experience that right now only Mike Edwards is really providing.
But then, and then he can't intercept Mahomes in the game. So like
Sure.
You keep another contender from getting, a guaranteed interception.
Counterpoint. Does he break Mahomes' spirit in practice?
There's a chance of that. That's why you just don't let them line up against each other. You can let Justin Simmons. He doesn't have to practice. He doesn't have to practice. He can just you sign him after training camp. You let him cook. I don't really know if there's any other safeties I'd be like super thrilled with seeing at this point. I think they kind of have what they have. So yeah, I think it's just Justin Simmons, I think, at this point. So I don't know. So, Ronson Trey asking
Julian
Marcus
Blackman.
Williams. Julian Blackman is still out there.
There must be something like that we don't know about though with him, because like not that he is like an all pro caliber safety, but he's been like a functional player. Again, just a good snap eating safety. He's again has a little bit of a veteran presence. I don't know why he hasn't been signed. There might be an injury or something that I don't know about. So I would at least be intrigued if they brought him in, but do I think that he is 100% better than Cook, than Hicks, than Edwards, or even potentially Connor? I don't know. We're kind of getting a guy that's maybe only a half step better than them at best. And that's just right now. And if that's the case, is that really worth stalling out growth from any of those younger guys?
Julian Blackman played 16 games and 15 games in the last 2 seasons. Why is he still out there?
That's what I mean. Like, there's got to be something we don't, and he's been like solid to good, like hasn't been a bad player by any means. So I don't know. It's just that it's been a weird one that he was still available this entire time. Is he the new, who is that safety? Trey Boston? Is he the new Trey Boston of the NFL?
Some are saying. Good.
Where he just signs
I was trying to figure out
1 for 3 deal every August.
Who was the other one? Jenkins.
That's the one that sticks to me. Rashawn.
Yeah, Trey Boston's a great pull, and it was mostly because Trey Boston didn't want to tackle, right? Like so. Every
when
year,
he did, he just launched his helmet into somebody.
Yeah. Trey Boston was a good pull. Great pull, Matt.
10 interceptions over a 5-year career. I mean, come on, what are we doing here?
See what I'd call Julian Blackman. See what's going on.
He'd be the best center field safety the Chiefs would have.
Is that the most likely spot the Chiefs add another player?
No, it's defensive tackle.
Good call. That's going to do it for this episode of the KC Laboratory. Thank you all so much for listening, watching, supporting. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll catch you later.
Go hit group me with a